Welcome to my allotment plot. And today what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about the 5 easiest vegetables to grow at allotments in the UK, of course. The 5 vegetables that I'm going to go through with you today are the ones that I would say take the least amount of maintenance and genuinely are actually easy to grow. So without much ado, let's start. Vegetable number 1 are tomatoes. So tomatoes are probably the easiest to grow. You don't even have to transplant from seeds at home. You can grow them straight in the ground in the allotment. And what I usually do is I sometimes plant a few at home in seeds, and then I transplant them into the allotment. And some varieties, they just grow naturally in the ground. If you do any vegetable growing, you know that tomato plants just grow quite vigorously. So these tomato plants I did actually plant myself, and some of them and these ones actually. So these plants someone gave to me at about 4 or 5 inches high, and then I planted them into the beds here, just like with these ones here. And these are a very large variety. The good size of these need picking. Honestly, I've got tomatoes at home. I don't know what I'm going to do with these. I'm hoping my sister will come in the next few days and she'll collect some as well, because look, there's another one there, and there's another giant one over there. And all of these tomatoes here are ones that grew naturally. And the reason why I like tomatoes is, yes, these just grew naturally in the allotment plot. So I've just transplanted them in different parts of the allotment. And you can see, look, we've got baby cherry tomatoes. We have a yellow variety. We have another plum variety there. And you've got you've got other varieties of tomatoes there. And you can see there's loads that have already ripened. You can see that some already ripened here. And honestly, I put sticks down with the intention of tying the plants onto the sticks, and I haven't managed to do it. That's why I like tomatoes, because whether you give them attention or not, you still get a lot of tomatoes. So tomato is my number 1 easiest vegetable to grow. So number 2 are courgettes. So here's a couple of courgette plants, which I started from myself from seed, and I planted a few plants here, and we're in middle of August to we're in late August and we still get courgettes growing. So this is pretty amazing. We've had quite a few courgettes from here. There's a couple more growing here, and we've had another variety growing here as well. So these are the yellow round ones. I can't tell you the name of it right now, but we have picked quite a lot. So I've had about 4 courgette plants in this bed alone, and we've had quite a few courgettes already, and the plants are still alive. So I think the ones over here, there's one here is a bit exhausted, and there's nothing growing on it here, but you can see that one's ready to be picked. I think I might just pick this one right now. There you go. There you go. So that one's going to join me on my journey home. So the next very easy plant to grow is amaranth. Now this is red amaranth, also known as lal shag in the Bengali community. You can see this plant, the flowers are coming out. It's going to start giving seeds out, and I'm going to keep 1 or 2 plants here in the plot, because these seeds will eventually scatter across this bed, and the wind may even take it into some of the other beds, and we'll get free red amaranth growing. And this plant, you eat the stems and the leaves. They're very tasty, very unique taste. And this is a very easy, 0 maintenance plant to grow. So that was number 3, red amaranth. Number 4, I would say beans. There's a little bit of care that you need. With beans, the only thing that I worry about, and I think generally people need to worry about, are snails or slugs eating the baby plants. So when you've planted your beans plants into the ground, you just got to be hopeful that the plant climbs enough and the snails or slugs don't get the ends of the plants. And so these plants have flourished here in the allotment, and all I've done is watered it. I haven't given a single amount of fertilizer. And here we go, look at the amount of beans that we have. This is the hyacinth variety. Look at these. There's a lot of beans growing. I need to pick some actually. I'm not going to do it today. And then what you do is you just put a stick because this variety of climbing beans will climb. And then at the top, you want to put some kind of netting or more area for it to climb at the top. So all I've done was I've put a beam across the top, and I put a net over the whole thing, and these plants are just growing on the net. So I've got this bed, and I've also got this bed here. So, and we have lots of beans. So beans, number 4. Number 5 are cucumbers. Look at the cucumber. There's another one there. There's another one there. Look, this is climbing onto the ground. Another one there. This is a very large one I'm keeping to save the seeds. So in this bed, I planted probably about 20 cucumber plants in 3 lines. So we had 3 rows of cucumber plants here. And then I created this temporary rubbish structure with a net in the middle, with the hope that the vines will climb onto the net and then they'll climb all the way up. And guess what? It failed. It didn't happen. However, we must have picked about 100 cucumbers from here this summer. It's not a very large bed. It's probably about 4 meters by about 1.2 meters wide. But we honestly picked about 100 cucumbers from here. And there's still quite a few left over in the ground. So these 5 vegetables are the ones, and honestly, again, with all the vegetables that I mentioned today, with the tomatoes, the cucumber, the courgettes, and the beans, and the amaranth, I didn't have to give any fertilizer. In fact, I didn't give any fertilizer for any of the vegetables in my garden, in my allotment, or in my garden at home, in fact. I've tried to avoid giving fertilizer because I'm trying to keep my vegetables as organic as possible. And you can see, look here, I've planted some coriander plants, seeds. I've buried some seeds in certain gaps that I found in the garden, in the beds, and the plants are growing. So that's good news. So going into October or late September, we should have another crop of coriander growing. So this is it, guys. If you're thinking about growing stuff in the allotment or in your own garden, I would suggest try those. At least try 2 or 3 of those, and you will get veg growing, and you will be eating some organic vegetable, which is really, really important these days. I consciously eat the vegetables that I grow at the allotment, and I encourage my family and friends to eat as much of their homegrown vegetables as they can, because as we know, some vegetables are anti-cancerous, and it's the only source of organic food that we get. So good luck, guys. Good luck with growing. Hope you manage to get tomatoes the size of this. Look how big this is. Fully fits in the palm of my hand. So yeah, I'm gonna have to start picking some of this. Today's a little bit chilly. Not really chilly, a bit brisk, but I need to get going. I'm gonna pick some veg and I'm gonna make my way home. Catch you soon. See you.